Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Who You Can Become Alumni Speaker Series. My name is JC Dar, and I'm the Associate Director of Alumni and Student Engagement for Undergraduate Studies. And I'm very pleased to welcome Wendy as our speaker for this installment. Born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, Wendy began undergrad at Florida State in 2015. In her time at FSU, she served as chair of the College Leadership Council for the College of Fine Arts, executive director of the Student Theater Association, in addition to involvement with the Swim Club, Last Word magazine, and various performance groups. She was one of 26 students in her graduating class to receive the Outstanding Senior Scholar Award for completing the University Honors Program, Honors in the Major Program, and maintaining a 3.9 GPA. She graduated summa cum laude in 2019 with a Bachelor of Science in Marketing and a Bachelor of Arts in Theater. Upon graduating from FSU, she moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to pursue a Master of Arts Management degree from Carnegie Mellon University. And after graduating with that degree in 2021, she began work with Pittsburgh Opera as their group sales manager. In 2022, she was promoted to manager of group sales and community initiatives with a focus on encouraging people new to opera to give it a try. In January 2024, she joined the board of the Pittsburgh Young Professionals and has been enjoying building a life in Pittsburgh. So thank you so much to Wendy for joining us.
Yeah, very excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so we will start off with the first question. So if you could just tell us about your time at FSU, specifically the honors program.
Yeah, I really loved my time at FSU. I got a lot out of the experience and tried to be involved in as much as I possibly could. So I did both the university honors program, and so I lived in Landis Hall my freshman year, as well as did the honors in the major programs through I started that my junior year and worked on it completely through my senior year and did a creative thesis. So I didn't realize this when I initially started, but you could, for the honors in the major program, if you're getting a creative degree, you can do a creative thesis. So I only had to write a 20-page paper in addition to doing a creative project, as opposed to, I think, the 40 pages or whatever you have to do for other majors. But yes, so I chose to do that. I started working on a play. My project ended up being writing, directing, and producing a play from start to finish. And it was really an awesome opportunity to get to work on a project of that nature. The play itself, I have a background and I'm really interested in history, so I decided to focus on women in speaking roles in British theater history. So I basically wrote historical fiction about how one of the first times a woman spoke on stage and kind of how that went. And I really enjoyed the whole process.
Great, yeah. Thank you so much for mentioning how you did a creative project, because I think a lot of the students don't know that they can be very creative with this. So any students listening know that you can focus on something that you're really passionate about. So what did the honors program help you accomplish?
The honors program was really helpful in giving me an opportunity to delve into a very specific topic that I would not have been able to learn that much about just in my classes. I was exposed to the early stages of theater when we had like a chapter on court mass, which is the type of performance that I focused my thesis on, which I thought was interesting. And being able to do the thesis project let me learn so much more about it than I would have from that, one chapter in the textbook. So it gave me a chance to really delve deep into something that I was interested in that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
Great. And then FSU in general, what did you really get out of your undergraduate experience as a whole?
I really loved my undergraduate experience at Florida State. I think that it served me really well being at a big school because I feel that there were so many different kinds of people that you were bound to find your people. Um, and I really loved being in the College of Fine Arts as well as the College of Business. I did a marketing degree and a theater degree. So I really feel like I got such a holistic education in both of those realms and met so many different people. And I really do think that Florida State was the best possible choice for me for undergrad.
Great, I love that answer. Moving on to more about your career path, tell us about what you do now and how the honors program and the honors in the major program really helped you get to where you are.
Yes. So where I am now, I currently work as the manager of group sales and community initiatives for Pittsburgh Opera. So I went to more of the administrative side of the arts, but still very close to the arts, which I loved. And doing this creative thesis and getting a chance to work on a play from start to finish, I have such a clear understanding of everything that it takes to put on a theatrical production. And so I think that really helps me market it, encourage people to attend because I really understand the art form. And a big thing of my job now is trying to encourage people who maybe have never gone to an opera before to give it a try. And so I think having an understanding of performing arts and what they mean to me, because it's something that I'm really passionate about and really enjoy myself. So I think that helps me a lot to try to get other people to come out and experience something new. And I think that that thesis really cemented the fact that I do want to work in the arts and that I do love this career path that I've picked.
That's perfect. And you kind of mentioned this in your response, but what was your experience like going from an undergraduate student to a master's student to working at the Pittsburgh Opera?
Yeah, absolutely. My journey from undergrad to grad to now working at the opera, I think really just put a lot of things into perspective for me. I mentioned, but in undergrad, I did a degree in marketing and a degree in theater. And so the degree in marketing was very for-profit focused, but it was really a great foundation in understanding consumer behavior and why people buy the things they do and how you can influence those decisions. And then that was coupled with the theater degree, which was very creative and about self-expression and things like that. And then when I went to Carnegie Mellon, I did a Master of Arts Management program, which really married the foundations I had in both marketing and theater. It really married those two, and I learned a lot about how nonprofits operate. And so I think FSU built a really great foundation that I then built upon in graduate school and has really, really helped. All of it's really helped for my current position, which is at a nonprofit opera company. So I have an understanding of the art form, I have an understanding of the business side of it, and as well as the nonprofit business side of it. So I got all the pieces put together finally.
Yeah, I love how you took two different kind of focuses and really made it like into your career. I think a lot of students are doing something similar, so it's nice to see that you were successful with that. What made you choose to go really into opera and that field?
Yeah, picking opera is not something that I originally saw for myself, I will not lie. To be honest, I knew that I wanted to work in the arts and specifically performing arts because of my theater background. And honestly, a job at an opera popped up, and I thought to myself, this is an opportunity for me to learn something new about a facet of performing arts that I didn't know as much about. But was a great opportunity to learn. And I also think it's actually kind of helpful that I don't have an extensive opera background, because when I'm trying to encourage people to try it out for the first time, I can tell them honestly, like, hey, I tried it out recently for myself as I'm learning on the job. And I think that helps people feel more at ease, that it's not like everyone that works for the company has been doing this for forever and knows everything.
Right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What advice would you give current students who want to pursue honors in the major and work on a thesis?
Yeah, I think that for any current students that want to work on an honors in the major thesis, first I'd say go for it. It really was an awesome opportunity for me. I got to establish really great relationships with my professors and get to work with them one-on-one in a way that wasn't always possible in the classes that I was in. And I got to really delve into something that I was interested in, and kind of almost, it's essentially like building your own class and what you really want to learn a lot about, with a lot of guidance from professors. As part of the process, you build a committee that reviews your work. And so you're getting lots of outside feedback, and you're learning how to write a extensive paper. You're learning how to put together a big project. And one of the most rewarding things for me was just the belief in myself that I could take something, start it in one semester and finish it 3 semesters later, and like really see a huge project through start to finish. It honestly, in some ways, makes me feel like I can do anything now.
Mhm. That's really great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then to close, do you have a final piece of advice for FSU students in general, just trying to complete their degree?
Absolutely. I think a piece of advice I'd give to FSU students is one that I received while I was at school at FSU. Michelle Diamanti, who works in administration for the School of Theater, she would always tell us, especially when we got really overwhelmed about what comes next, you know, you have to learn as much as you can. And when you're stressing out about the future, you do not have to decide what you're doing for the rest of your life. You just have to decide what you're doing next. And I think framing things in that way helps make the unsurmountable scariness of the future a little less scary. So I've always really appreciated that advice, and I repeat it back to myself all the time when I'm thinking about the next thing I want to do or the next project I want to take on.
Yeah, that's really great advice. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for taking the time for us to interview you and just share your experiences with students. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed my time at FSU and time doing the honors in the major, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone.